Okay, so the first prototype board works. The only problem, well, there's a couple of problems with this board. The first one is you'll notice the absence of the voltage regulator that was supposed to save the voltage regulator from the daughter board containing the Arduino. The pinout was wrong, so I'll probably just shove a resistor in there. Second problem is these TIP 120s had the holes too small, so I forced the first one in as far as I could. And the second one, I didn't want to push my luck, so they're just in there for as far as I can put them. And then there's one bodge wire on the back. I forgot to put a wire in the right spot, but that is all fixed on the next version of it. But there's no reason why this isn't a perfectly viable prototype. It is a little hard to use the menu through the camera, but you can see the options. Scroll down, you can change the times for each stage, the presets, the actual targets for each stage. You can save up to 5 presets in there. The very first thing on the menu is probably going to be the adjusting the launch PSI, which I think is probably the thing that's going to get tinkered with the most. But go into the menu by pushing right. You can adjust the launch PSI up or down. Left exits, saves the values to EEPROM, and then one more time to save it. So now we're looking for 5 PSI. The PSI is the current reading from the dome sensor, and the aim is what you're aiming for. Ignore the 3. That shouldn't show up right now unless you're using Boost by Gear. It's supposed to do some calculations based on your RPM and your gear ratios and the vehicle speed sensor. But since that's not hooked up, and since we're not using Boost by Gear, that shouldn't be on the screen. I'll probably change the code for that. Yeah. You can cycle through the various modes, launch PSI only, the timed run, Boost by Gear. The solenoid pulse width test is cool because it's got bar graph. There's no solenoids hooked up, but I'm going to run it anyway. So it'll just run each solenoid, the up and down ones, based on the frequency that you set and each duty cycle percentage, so you can kind of find the dead spots in the solenoids for tuning purposes, or my purposes, really. I guess leaving it in as a feature, you might be able to figure out if you got your solenoids wired up correctly, but other than that, it doesn't have any practical purpose. But yeah, that's it. The first prototype board is together and works. I'm going to hook the solenoids up to it later, but there's no reason why those shouldn't work.